Welcome to Body Work.
Please fasten your seatbelts.
I had 11 Olympians and over 800 national champs. And all those men, they wouldn't do half the work that she do. And I'm seeing it from the young ladies. These last 2 years, when you think about it, all the good fights is coming from the women. The guys is ducking each other, looking for the easy way. Hey. I'm telling you like it is, you know? So again, you know, this young lady done did everything I asked of, and she did more. And I'm watching all the young ladies that's boxing now. It's like they trying to prove they better than men. Now, we knew they was kind of there, but now they showing that they mean. You know, in the old days in Philly, we call these guys crazy. And that's the way these women are. So when you go back home, speak nice to you.
Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. It's Friday night. What's going on, my people? Already seen Melazar Khan Sabar in there, Mike Guy. 10 times 10, Arnaldo Nieves. Keeping the lights on. My other guy. Salute those Body Work in chat. Salute, family. Man, I don't really think I'm going to hold on too long, you know, before I actually get into the real deal, Holyfield. And again, remember, this is a Friday night, so we're going to have a small little flashback, but I'm going to get right on into the content. You know, ultimately, we're going to land the plane with the major implications of tomorrow night's fight in regards to one Richardson Hitchins, a.k.a. Africa. And over here, Body Work, we call him the Rain Man, as he takes on Gustavo Lemos in an IBF title eliminator. He's part of one of Eddie's young crop. He like the second to last piece he got. Third to last piece he got, because he actually had him before he got Andy Cruz, but he's part of a young fleet of fighters that Eddie Hearns has grabbed hold of and took the reins over, along with Raymond, who just got a title. Also, Diego Pacheco on the undercard. 168 gives me so much hope for those guys at 168. Between him and Mr. David Morrell, man, once they start doing their thing, they're going to have to meet. They're going to have to meet. And Eddie is actually doing his thing. But before I actually get into the whole program, I guess you could say. So I guess I gotta do some programming. Even when it comes to myself. And I'm gonna continue back where I was left off at, where I had been talking about gaslighting a lot, right? And I think we kind of move past that. We kind of see when somebody is doing it. We already know when somebody is manipulating reality, outright lying, things like that. So what I started doing was, that's not the part that triggers me. I think I'm down to shoot maybe a handful of comments. If I jump in a live, depending on what the subject is, I might get in there, troll a little bit, talk smack, say what's up to some people if they in the building, when I'm in the building, just have fun. Listen, because as much as I like to talk when I'm on my show, it pales in comparison to how much I listen and watch, whether it's interviews, just things that help me formulate how I look at this creature, this love of ours that we call boxing. And one of the things that I really don't like, which I kind of started on the last segment, is when people really try to insult your intelligence. I'm real big on that, man, because it's like, man, come on, man. We're supposed to be intellectuals. We're supposed to be able to think. We're supposed to be able to talk. We're supposed to be able to give our opinions without abandoning all reasoning. Is that too much hard? Is that too hard to ask? I mean, I think when I look back in my younger years, right, when I was really like a hothead, for real, I was really a hothead, short temper, short fuse, however you want to call it. I was always wondering, man, why do you always feel angry? I was questioning that, and I just realized that, hey, upbringing, environment, maybe going to the military early, kind of forge a callus around you. And I was looking at it like, okay, well, yeah, you was angry, but when did you get in trouble? And I was like, well, I found myself getting in trouble when I made impulsive decisions. When I started making impulsive decisions, and I say this all the time, impulsive decisions lead to poverty. Like just having a hairpin trigger, just quick to snap off, quick to do whatever, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So I'm like, well, dang, if you can see it coming, you see it coming. Even if you get inside the boat of reasoning and you start dealing with people on whatever level you're dealing with, you try to come up with mechanisms, how to hurdle this, how to get around this, how to do that, how to try to come across as not a brand new fool. And I'm like, man, it's still to a point to where people just really try to insult your intelligence. Like, they really try to make it seem as though like their reality is yours, or the reality that everybody else can see. So I'm at a point now where it's like, dang, man, we can't handle it. We can handle a lot of things in the physical. Oh yeah. Most of us out here working and doing something, we doing it in the physical, and that's just how it's always been. You eat by the labor of your hands, and it may transfer to you actually using your brain, which is my motto. Work smart, but not hard. But in some of these mechanisms, I'm like, well, dang, what to use? It's like you really gotta be at a point where you can recognize it, you can deal with it, but you gotta be able to react in a way to where you get somewhere afterwards. See, right now, I think we're in an era now where it's a lot of like lifeless banter, chitter chatter, people running around, like people in fear of the truth. I don't know why people are so scared of the truth nowadays. It's like, man, do you realize, man, you get called a hater quicker by telling somebody the truth than telling somebody a lie. It's like that's what people want you to do. And I guess that's why people act the way they act and they talk the way they talk, man. You know, because they're accustomed to running whatever BS they got going on, but they really, like, for me, it's offensive, man, when you try to insult my intelligence. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't outright come out and disrespect you. I wouldn't allow anybody in my presence, if I rock with you, to even disrespect you. You know what I'm saying? I would never let nobody get up here and disrespect you. Y'all want to have it out and hash it out, but it's lines, it's boundaries. It's like, you know, I wouldn't do that. But my whole thing, man, is like, you can't deal with it one by one. You got to deal with this as a collective. You gotta like sharecrop this thing. And I often find, man, sometimes I get a little heated and then I'll just laugh it off. I guess it's a coping mechanism, or it's the way to just kind of walk away from things, you know. But I wanted to go over a couple of these things I've been seeing, man, so that we can build on this whole gaslight thing. I think I beat that horse for the people that come around. And this is really for my people, the ones that come around, the one that show support, the one that I believe I've built up some equity in all of the conversations that I've had about this boxing. I believe that I've put in some stakes in the ground and told you some things that was going to happen before they happened, talked you through it, didn't abandon reason. Yeah, I ran it. Yeah, I raved. Yeah, I went, I might have punched below the belt a couple times on a couple things, but hey, that happened in boxing, don't it? But I just want to go over some of these things that I've been coming across. And this is an older little piece of information from April the 16th. April showers. This was April 16th, 2021. Do you reckon you've got skills when it comes to making a point without explicitly saying it? From he's a little thin on top to allude to someone's thin in hair to I'm letting you go. When you need to fire an employee, euphemisms can seem like a great way to couch harsh comments in gentler terms. And yet people don't use figurative language to deliver news with sensitivity. According to Reddit, a thread there, plenty of people view it as a tool to poke fun at others' intelligence. And that's what I want to talk about, y'all. Real quick, I'm not gonna belabor it. I'm definitely not gonna go through all of them. I just want to go through a couple of them so we can get into this, and I'll come back to it and I'll get right into the program. Trust me. But this is the Fruit and Veggies channel. You know, where you come get your fruits, your veggies. I will not disappoint. Stick with me. I'm a holler. Indy 100 is here to help. We've unlocked some of those sneaky phrases so you won't be caught off guard. The bar was the cement and you brought a shovel. A shovel is better to dig up dirt or sand, not cement. Unless you want to do this for the whole day, go right ahead. Like, you don't go back and forth with no fools. You let it go. I expected nothing, but I'm still disappointed. I felt that about 45 minutes. I ain't expect nothing, but I was still disappointed. Sheesh. Way to have faith in someone. Hey, I don't expect nothing, but I was still disappointed. Golly. They had different talents. In other words, they aren't good at that. You're about as sharp as a sack full of soup. Soup is a liquid. Sacks are floppy containers, generally made of porous material. Basically, there's nothing sharp about a pool of pottage seeping through a Hessian bag. You're as quick as a glacier. Most glaciers move a few centimeters a day. Others, known as galloping glaciers, move about 160 feet a day. He's so far behind, he thinks he's first. That's what some people are, so far behind. Swaying they first. Coming in last. Like a tortoise in a hare, or the tortoise in a rabbit, if you prefer. Slow and steady wins the race most of the time. Gotta have patience, man. I'm learning that. I'm watching that. I'm figuring that out, that when you're dealing with people, you gotta be able to, like, relax. Keep them guessing. Don't open your mouth and prove them right. That's what happened, man. Because they say it's better for a person to believe that you're a fool, rather than you open your mouth and remove all doubt. And I'm going to stop it right there. And I'm going to go ahead and get into the show. I just thought that was something, you know, that I needed to get into, man. Something just that'll give you, you know, because people will try to insult your intelligence, man. Even people just can't be honest no more. They don't like the truth. They're kind of allergic. Let's get into these comments real quick before I get into the program. Gustavo Lemos. You still repping your guy. Frontline, salute, bodywork, chat, and fam. Now, Pro Box, English, Algerian, Spanish Marquez are now putting Matias in other words that he is less skilled boxer in the 140 division. I wouldn't say that they working for the PBC though. You on to something, but not for the PBC because there's plenty of slander when it comes to the PBC. But you're right. You're right, Arnaldo. You're right. Heriberto Alvarado, salute, bodywork and chat. Hit that like button. It's free. Yes, that is free. That is free. I appreciate that, Heriberto. JDL Boxing, what's good, bro? Salute. Hope you still doing your thing. They said that Matias is strong and dangerous, but less skilled, overhyping Pitbull. Yeah, I heard all of that. I'm like, man, but if you look back at Cabrera and what he was able to do with a set of feet, and then you got to look at the fact that, man, Rolly was cracking Cruz. It just, you know, I don't want to, because, you know, sometimes when you're talking about somebody that you like, and then you're discussing somebody that you don't prefer in a fight against, it's not that I'm knocking Isaac Pitbull Cruz. I appreciate what he brings to the table. He is, you know, I appreciate the story and everything. I'm just looking at it from a dimension standpoint, from a style standpoint, man. With the height and the power and the kind of style that Subriel has, man, with this man coming right in the front door with no jab. I mean, if you seen what Cabrera was able to do with a check hook, what do you think is going to happen other than blunt force trauma when he went up on a predator like Subriel Matias? And again, I say he whips out that blade and put a little X-Lang on the neck. You feel me? Like, what you think gonna happen? It's gonna look just like the predator. That's what I keep seeing. Like when a little dog try to run up and it's a predator and he got a blade, it's a wrap. That's not nothing against Isaac Pitbull Cruz, but if you look at it, when you start, because the fact that you said that, the fact that you said you brought this up, Arnaldo, what it really tells you, like I said earlier in that video when I was saying recency bias. So you will abandon all reason and you'll look at a performance like Isaac Pitbull Cruz against a Rolly and in a pocket. You will judge it from a pocket, just from judging that fight. That's why I said we got to be a little more critical, a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? We got to be like, when I say slow to judge, I'm not saying don't have an opinion, but we got to look, we got to analyze things over a sustained period of time. Cabrera was spinning Cruz around. He had footwork. Cabrera didn't have all the power in the world. He had finesse. But then when you're talking about somebody that's taller, longer, stronger, and he just moved up to 140. We don't even know what his real punch resistance is. We know Rolly can crack, and he was hitting Pitbull Cruz. But at the same time, Pitbull Cruz got the job done against Rolly, but the old man got the job done against Rolly, for real, when you look at it. You know, when you really look at it, Isaac Pitbull Cruz was the last at the party. He only has one sample of evidence to ever show you what he's going to be at 140. If we go back and we look at Subriel Matias, has he not shown us? Because they're looking at one big punch. Didn't Ergashev show us that one big punch, getting a shellac and taking it across the jaw? What is that going to do? He missed a lot. He swung wild a lot. Do you know what happened if Pitbull Cruz missed one of them wild overhand rights and Subriel Matias is right there where he's going to be? Don't need no GPS. And he hits him with a blunt force trauma, one of them short, choppy hooks. Do you know what's going to happen? But we'll allow one sample size at 140, along with the performance against Cabrera. And when you look back at it, when people were saying that, oh man, Cruz, it's like, okay, cool. If it was enough demand for it, I wouldn't knock anybody who said they want a rematch. But I was saying, look, man, I wanted to see Tank against Shakur, Tank against Devin, stuff like that. I wanted to move on. But if people were actually saying that, if you look at what Tank did with one hand, and not having the power that he would normally have. Not to make any excuse, but if you look at, when you go back and you look at that fight, that boxing match, if you look at that, you be like, he didn't really do anything but fight a Cabrera afterwards. And then he fought Rolly. That was a necessary evil. I salute him for getting the job done. I really do. But we seen Rolly against Marinez, we seen Rolly against Barroso, and now we seen Rolly against Tank, and we seen Rolly against Pitbull now. What's our evaluation of Rolly? Everybody know that Rolly had a career outside of boxing. Everybody knew, they would say stuff. They like Rolly, they like his personality, but they knew he had something outside. I saw Pitbull Cruz served the purpose. He dethroned Rolly. Whoop-de-doo. But are y'all getting the point that I'm saying, where Subriel Matias has stopped everybody? He avenged his only loss. Stop it. He said he wasn't right. But he's shown us with the caliber of opponents, all those undefeated guys, with them 5 guys that was undefeated, retired, made them quit. Like, so on one sample size, well, that's where Subriel Matias has been. We let all these experts, all these trainers, all this stuff come up with one sample size of what Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Now all of a sudden, he bumps in front of Matias, along with Devin Haney, who's always fought with all of the advantages in all of his fights: speed, footwork, activity, size, rehydration, which equals punch resistance. What everybody don't realize, if you're rehydrating 2.5 weight classes above where you fight, that's more punch resistance. That's not a true barometer of how you fight at that weight class, which speaks to what the issue that Richardson Hitchins is saying, which he's saying he's taking this fight because he wants to see, because he fought there before. I'm giving him his word because I respect. I'm taking his word. I'm giving him. He could have went straight up. Y'all already know how I feel about it. But he also said something. He said, look, man, he said something about the rehydration and this and this and that. But he said, look, I don't even get that big. It's just right. It's outside of the 10 pounds, which I was saying, man, 15 should be, maybe IBF is too harsh. Maybe it should be 15. But really what IBF does is keeping it true and solid. That's why I've always kind of appreciated the IBF a little bit more. But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about all these elements. If you look at the caliber opponent, we're looking at Rolly. I mean, Vegas odds will tell you that Isaac Pitbull Cruz. I had to bet on Rolly because that was the only way to win money. It was no money in betting on Pitbull. So I was like, sure, let me get this 2 stacks. Let me go ahead and bet something that, because that's all about bet. Let me put this little $10 over and see if it can bring me back 23. I was very close, 2,300. I was very close. But on one sample size of Isaac Pitbull Cruz coming up and fighting Rolly at 140, the experts will have you discredit Subriel Matias. When you look at these guys that he fought, what are we really talking about? Recency bias. I'm not going to try to beat that dead horse. I know I talked for a long time about that, and I gave so many examples of the recency bias, because whoever's popular, whoever has the loudest voice, whoever can garner the most attention, be the most salacious, is going to grab your itching ear and tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. We can't judge Isaac Pitbull Cruz with those dimensions when Subriel Matias has showed us over and over again, even in action. Isaac Pitbull Cruz didn't want to fight Shakur Stevenson for a belt at 135. When did he garner all this? When did he muster all this courage to come up and see Subriel Matias? He didn't. Devin Haney was free. He could have unified. They try to say the man outpriced himself. Lopez sent them a deal, you know, but then he said, I'm fighting a Super Bowl and this and that, all this wild stuff, and his fans run with it. All these fan bases, which are collectively people that actually fear what's going to happen when these guys get inside the ring, they're going to push the ones that they like. But that's why I gave you the lesson about people insulting your intelligence. It would be irresponsible as an analyst to take one sample size by Pitbull Cruz, even if you look at the records and everything. Was Tank Davis the first person that Isaac Pitbull Cruz lost to? Was that not just one sample size? Tank came up and did it against Barrios, and people criticized him on that one sample size of what he could do at 140. He said, hey, I ain't comfortable. I'm going back down, whatever. I think he'd go back up for the right fight or whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know. I'm not in the know. But I can say as an analyst, if you're analyzing and you're breaking stuff down, we all can see styles and all that, but it's irresponsible to use one sample size of Isaac Pitbull Cruz to go and abandon all reasoning about what Subriel Matias has shown you. I told y'all, when Ergashev hit that man one time, he bounced back off against the ropes in them first 3 rounds. I've seen it in them first 3 rounds. Subriel Matias, I mean, it's almost, he's like a freak, man. I told you, it's 2 boxers like that. It's almost like he kind of likes it. Now, I think, you know, we all said, hey, man, maybe for the longevity, we don't want him to take on those kind of hits. But he's shown that this dude, you got to have a sledgehammer. You got to have a gas tank. You got to have a lot of things. But I'm not going to abandon what my eyes have shown me. An activity of everybody else playing musical chairs. Now all of a sudden he's at the back of the line. I'm not buying it. I ain't buying it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not buying it. Let's see. Let me come out, y'all. So y'all, I don't want to lose people. Let me go ahead and come out. But I'm gonna get through these comments so we can get down to the meat and potatoes of everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really gonna I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm not really gonna hold you with just, you know, me addressing everything. I just want to get through and chop it up with my people real quick, and I'm gonna go right to the information. Okay. I think this is where I left off. Of course, Pro Box wants to sell the Mexican boxer and the Mexican title as the best, as Pitbull Cruz and WBC title. Yeah, I mean, it's a great, you know, we all know Mexico versus Puerto Rico. We all know that's money. We all know that it's good. They're 2 valiant champs, but I'm talking about the analysis and all of the predictions and all the things that they're actually trying to say, like, about the fight and, you know, the styles. It's like, I mean, come on. Pro Box got ties with CBC and Suleiman. Why you think the Spanish version are all Mexican? I didn't see the Spanish version. I mean, Todd, yeah, I got you. I see an interview with Subriel Matias in Espanol, and he says he's going to introduce back to the box of Piofino, and he only going to stop hitting Piofino until his father, Piofino Sr., know the time. Piofino. That's funny. Maldonado, Audrey, Marquez, Barreras, Probot, man. I mean, man. Wow. Like, I mean, I don't know. I try to give them guys credit, man, because I don't want a reputation just to be like, with all these guys. But I'm like, man, you leave me no choice. Matias has very good jab when he want to use it. You know, it's you know, until he get back in there, people gonna say a lot of things. I be looking at activity. I'm all about that action. Isaac tried that with Tank, and guess what? He gassed out. Exactly. Angelina, salute. Salute, body work was good. What's up, Bloodshot? Lemos versus Hitchins will be deja vu of Cruz and Rolly fight. Okay. Matias hits everywhere. Exactly, everywhere. What's good, bro? Body work, boxing. Salute Jose Rodriguez. Salute. Rolly a bum for real. He got power. That's it. Yeah, I think that's been shown. The funny part of Pitbull record, his best win versus Rolly, and his most notable fight was losing versus Tank. That makes him the best. They abandoned reasoning. I've never laced up a pair of gloves, so I guess my analysis is going to fall short, I suppose. Blessings, my brother. Now everyone loves Matias, Hector Tapia. But I'm seeing a lot more hate. It's closeted hate. Backhanded compliments. Hitchins got to make up his mind. He wants to Subriel smoke or not. I hope he wins and takes the fight. Yeah, we're going to get into that. Because it's very promising in my eyes. The interview with Subriel Matias happened yesterday in La Casa del Boxeo in Spanish. Heriberto Alvarado, salute. Now is who has the most Instagram followers. Exactly. And Isaac Sr. says that Matias' record is not impressive. He hasn't fought good fighters. I want to see somebody run down that gauntlet of all them fighters that Subriel Matias fought. It's only really two guys that I really see presenting the challenge, and that's Gary Antoine Russell. Richardson Hitchins, he can present some challenges. But outside of that, if Tank decide to come up and move up, I would love to see that fight. I would love to see it. Those are my guys. I would love to see it. Who posts the most TikTok videos? But Yukumbayev and Barbosa are ranked on the top WBA 10. Yeah. Ponce was ducked by Josh Taylor. Y'all just spilling the beans. Like I told, these commentators are prisoners of the moment. They sound silly. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it, man. People would call me out, man. They couldn't wait to, jump on me. Well, I said I just keep it all the way funky. Pitbull Cruz beat the lower level 140 Rolly Romero. Let's see fighting big monsters 140. I mean, they got them beaten. Teofimo. I'm like, man, this Isaac Pitbull Cruz, when did he become? Because they say Subriel Matias is a one-trick pony. What is Isaac Pitbull Cruz? They want to discredit him instead of saying we don't want the smoke. That's what they resort to, Angelina. Pitbull Cruz, no half break with Matias. Alex Rivera, salute. Bronx OG, salute. Rolly was never a real champion. He was given a free belt by referee. Matias stops Cruz. Thank you, y'all. This is why we're here having a meeting so that we can, because every now and again we need to reconvene and talk this out so that we realize that we're not the ones that's tripping. Like this recency bias, like everybody coming along is like, well, if he's such easy money and such easy work, why wasn't anybody trying to jump on him? Pro box Spanish are all Mexican. There's no one else from other countries. It's always one side. It is what it is. And they need to have balance. That's just my opinion. But let me get into this. So, where we at? This is the meat and potatoes, y'all. Implications. We have implications here with this fight. I saw actually a couple interviews with Richardson Hitchins. And Richardson Hitchins is giving the impression, and he's saying it. I think he's getting a little frustrated because people are saying, hey, I'm on the caliber of these guys. Look at these records. And he's been on record for a long time pointing out everything and calling out factual information about how he's been matched. People don't really realize that when he was over there on TMT, they say that he didn't get the shine and the light, and I guess he kind of got stuck in the mud over there. But there was no soft touches for that man over there. It was matching him hard, along with Malik Hawkins, who shared the ring with Subriel. Richardson Hitchins also shared the ring with him. Argenis Mendez. Bowser. He got Bowser. Look at what he did to Zepeda. Now he has Lemos, who, is a powerful guy. He got, he punch a powerful punch. But the dimensions, and he's going to make this man use his IQ in the ring. And I'm not sure, just by the sheer fact that this man spars with Shakur Stevenson, Tank, those was his, you know, you gotta think, birds of a feather flock together. He has an Olympic pedigree. 2016 Olympian. He was in there. He was doing this thing. So Richardson Hitchins is not fly by night. I think he's been sitting back like a film when you put it back in the dark room. And you got to give it time to develop. And I was being real critical of Richardson Hitchins because I was like, I wasn't being real critical, but I was saying, oh man, like, get this smoke. Go ahead and grab your opportunity. But he's smart. This is his career. He's not one of the guys that's running and hiding and ducking and dodging. He's not. He's actually saying really what it is. I finally heard this man embrace the opportunity in this recent interview. And with his rankings, the Subriel Matias line wasn't the only line he was standing in. When we look at the rankings, now I've been kind of beating up the rankings and all that. I'm gonna go a different way with the rankings and really break it down even further here. I've been in the lab, I've been in the background working out some things. But to hear this man say, look, it's my time. And, you know, the criticism, because Devin Haney was even criticizing about the whole IBF thing and this and this and that. And he said, look, man, that man walk in the ring like this. I don't even walk in the ring that high. He falls in the category where I think 15 pounds would probably be good because he say 155, 156 at the most he coming in. So he is an extra 5 pounds past the IBF, but he grabbed his cojones. He said, yeah, I know that this is a title eliminator. And yeah, after this, I'm ready. And he says Subriel Matias' name. That's big news. That is big news. Now, I hope that it's not just one of those things that you say, because we also have Subriel Matias in the fact that Subriel Matias actually has food on their plate. And I'm not going to do like everybody else and start discounting Liam Paro. I'm not going to do it. I gave an honest assessment. When you look at the pluses and minuses, this is what bodywork do. I even gave an honest assessment on Subriel. I called it out the whole time. That's why that's why I had the Ray J face up there. It's like, oh, it's official now. It's official now. But bodywork been new. Bodywork been new. Bodywork had put it out and said, hey, that's what the channel Bodywork was putting out. The content Bodywork was saying, hey, sign me up. We knew. We said best laid plan. We knew that this was going to be the jackpot. Why? Because of the equity of Liam Paro, and we went through the rankings of who Liam Paro was. We went through it all. We went through how this guy got out of line. And now, even though he's ranked higher than Devin Haney, than Ryan Garcia, and I'm not going to get into that. We already know that's the energy, but that's not how they be talking. We even seen the words by these guys. And even when I say this, I say that only because these guys that's the planet they on. We saw it through the smoke and mirrors. A while ago. This was, look. I've been on the road. Look, who is this? Mr. Gary Antoine Russell, Elvis Rodriguez, Regis, there goes Subriel, Josh Taylor. If he decide he want to be, join the party and stay at 40 or come up or whatever, we don't know. T.O. Who is this? Who is this? I was already saying it was the row. When Pitbull came up and he did what he did, I said, hey, everything been recalibrated. These are the champs. These are the guys that's breathing down their throats. But don't let, just because Rolly did what he did, don't let the recency bias fool you. But when you tracking and you putting stakes in the ground and you letting everybody know what's really good, you know that these are big implications. Big implications. What better notch, if it was a notch to be had, which better notch would it be for Subriel Matias to actually share the ring with somebody like Richardson Hitchins? Classic boxer. Probably the most slickest guy. Probably he's going to have the highest IQ of anybody that he's been in the ring with. I'm pulling for Richardson Hitchins to do what he need to do against Gustavo Lemos. I think he feels disrespected. I'm so glad, I'm so relieved that he said, hey, Subriel Matias, and he knows. Eddie pointed out that this is the title eliminator. That was one of the 5 names that were listed when we found out, and we got the good news that when Eddie came over, when he said he signed and they had him, that was one of the things we were jumping for joy about, that Richardson Hitchins was one of the names, but I also said that I didn't want this man to just be over there doing title defenses. But Richardson Hitchins would be he would be an excellent person to share the ring with. So, Eddie acquired Richardson Hitchins. I'm not sure what was going on with TMT, but when I look at this young crop of fighters that Eddie has gotten, because I give Eddie a lot of criticism, but I also give Eddie his salutes when he get it right. And if you look at it, he got Ray Ford, who just got a belt. Come to find out, Ray Ford and Diego Pacheco were the first ones that he signed over there. Diego Pacheco is knocking on the door. Now that David Benavidez is moving up, saying that he might float, but he going for all the smoke at 75, is Mr. David Morrell and Diego Pacheco is the future. In my book, Diego Pacheco, the man on the left. Shawn Mccalman, I've watched him, I've seen him. He's a tough guy. I think he's sneaky. I think, man, this fight right here might steal the show. Yeah, I think Shawn Mccalman, I think that he's awkward, but I do think that the skill set he has, and I believe that his power is a little bit more than what people think he has. This dude is kind of crafty, man. It's just I've been watching Diego Pacheco for a long. That's why I said the law firm, Pacheco and Hitchins. That's what I call them. Those are the guys that I've been saying, oh man, okay, well, if I can't look at the darlings of boxing right now and all the people that's, doing whatever they want to do to the sport, just jerking our chains and being whatever, I started really looking into Richardson Hitchins, Diego Pacheco, because I said they can't be all bad. Well, if I'm always quick to point out where Eddie got it wrong, I gotta be just as good and point out where Eddie got it right. Eddie got it right with Diego Pacheco. This might be the fight of the night, y'all. This might be the fight of the night. I think Diego Pacheco is coming into his own. He's hungry. He does hellacious body work, changes levels, uses his distance, man. If a guy like the Tower Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, who in my boxes to watch, his name is the Landlord. If the Landlord fought like Diego Pacheco, he'd be virtually unbeatable. Yeah, and I bet on that fight with Fundora. I actually bet on that fight, so Fundora's one of my guys, but his style and the way he fight, and he shares the ring with David Benavidez. He's getting sparring with David Benavidez. Tall in stature, long in stature, but I feel like Diego Pacheco was a complete boxer. There's occasional times where he might get a little lapse on his defense, but he's so long that you got to be special and you got to really disguise it and time it to be able to get in on him. So every now and again he might have a lapse, but he will let his hands go. He changes level. You don't have to tell him to go to the body. He's going to the body. He has a nasty shot to deliver when he decides to deliver. So it's a great card. It's a great night. I'm excited. This gives me hope about Subriel Matias and having a good opponent. And, you know, we're going to keep track of what's going on with him and Liam Paro. I'm hearing more and more people sing Liam Paro's praises. I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah, man. Like, yeah, man, bring him up. Like, talk about him. You know, oh, man, because the Liam Paro, he's just, you know, I'm like, okay, yeah. So this man can get all his credit when he do what he need to do. And there's not much anybody really can say, because a lot of people, can we say, since people are getting so sensitive to the duckology. Let me see if I can bring up something real quick when I'm going to get to the comments. Let me see if I can bring up something real quick, something that I had waiting. Let me see if I still got it. I think I might have got rid of that banner. Salute Cookie Monster. Body work. Cookie Monster is in the building. I ain't seen you in a minute, Cookie Monster. Say, no, let me stop playing. Let's see where we was at. Luis Vasquez. Cruz will be another no mas, and there is no excuse. Versus Mexican Puerto Rico equals Mexican versus Puerto Rico equals money. In those styles, no other better fight for Cruz if he has cojones. I never boxed in my life, but seeing Subriel attributes and Pitbull size, I just don't know how. That's right. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm like, you know, we not going to discount, you know, what we've seen, a proven track record. Like, it's just, you know that it's biased. You know that it's not legit. Even as an analyst with all the information and data right at your disposal, and if you don't have anything else, you got your family and all that, but then you got to work. But you don't pull up and look up and analyze just for something like that to come out your mouth. I'm not that reckless. I got Lemos winning by KO before 6th round. Lightning Lemos is coming with hunger. He just don't have Tank's power. He does have skills. He don't. He really don't. Because somebody else had pointed out the fact that Tank hit that man one time. Tank hit Rolly one good. I mean, he caught him a couple times, but that time, that was it. Stilettos. And Cruz fighting Tank at 140 would be then having Tank going back to 135 and holding that title hostage. It'll be, you know. I appreciate what Cruz brings to the table, but he don't, with no disrespect, no harm, no foul. He don't have anything for Subriel Matias. I welcome the opportunity because it's money, and I know Subriel Matias will love that pelt on the wall. And yes, that's a unification. So I'm pushing for it. I just don't want y'all to get the energy twisted, because I would love that fight for Subriel so he can unify. But as far as the matchup, I mean, I'm telling y'all, man, it's going to look like the Predator getting a hold of a pit bull. You got Hitchins, I got Lemos. Tomorrow we will find out. Yes. Ain't you excited, though? Because you don't know what's going to happen in that fight, right, Melazar? You don't know what's going to happen. Jose Rodriguez, Melazar, Hitchins is going to box circles around Lemos. He going to find out. It's frustrating when you go to swing and somebody ain't dead and they hitting you upside your head. That's because the dimensions and the footwork is just, it's a discrepancy. And we all know that Gustavo is going to be relying on landing that power on him. You got to be able to outthink somebody like Richardson Hitchins. Liam Paro, no pushover. Lemos either. Definitely not. These are good fights. Eddie, and I'm saluting Matchroom and Eddie and them. I'm giving them their praises because I can't just question how you doing and what you got going on because you didn't guarantee no Devin Haney for Subriel. You didn't have a Teofimo locked in for Subriel. It looked like that man just over there gonna be defending his title. But I heard him call out Cruz and he's gonna try to bring a unification to Subriel. We already heard him try to get Teo saying, please fight Subriel. That'll put a smile on my face. That's very rare when you hear a promoter of another place reaching out, saying stuff like that, wanting him to come over and talk. And then Teo go out and pull a Steve Claggett. So I'm giving Eddie his salute. I'm actually saying, hey Eddie, I'm rocking with you on this. All of this, the way he lining up, all the way in the midnight, however long, whether they wanted to wait to the last minute to tell us or not, whether I'm bothered by that or not. Let's set that to the side. I'm happy he finally got food on the plate for Subriel Matias, a viable champion. Next in line, not skipping over and not doing no crazy, Asian math like Haney is doing over there, where it's just money and all, okay, whatever. But going down the line, knowing what we know about all the people that could have fought him with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and getting the deal done with Liam Paro. I'm saluting Eddie for that. I'm saluting Eddie for continuing to develop Richardson Hitchins, giving him an opportunity, getting him a title eliminator, letting him headline. Because if Richardson Hitchins go out there and do what I want him to do, which is really make a statement, that's gonna make the fight with Subriel. It's all out. Like, what's going on tomorrow night? What's going on tomorrow night? That's what everybody gonna be looking at. It's all eyes on me, baby. This is big implications, man. This is a big fight in the making. It's a track record. It's already gonna be history because people gonna say, "Oh man, when you moved out the way and this, and then you got a build up there." And this is why I rock with Hitchins, because he don't just have he's being smart about how he's doing it over here, but he's also been talking about Devin Haney as well. He's also been saying Teofimo as well. And he's ranked. People want to pick and choose when they want to use rankings and don't use rankings, or consider rankings and don't consider. People even want to pick and choose when they really want to acknowledge the truth. There's big implications on this fight. Now I would love to see Matias Cruz in the ring battle it out. Of course, Matias wins over Paro. Let's see if Cruz belongs to the 140. We will see. Eddie Hearn won a KO from Hitchins, and he can't deliver. Hearn, no. Lemos versus Matias will be a war. Maybe the fight of the year. It might be. I got it getting ugly in there. I think it's going to be a little different than what you think, man. I think that people are sleeping on Richardson Hitchins, man. We can say what we want, but he's a cerebral guy. He has to be. He was sparring with Boots and, power and dealing with power. We tell you all the time, man, dealing with power. We ain't never seen Zepeda look like that. Meanwhile, where is Gary Antoine? Man, that's the $1 million question, Angelina. That's the $1 million question. I see him. I don't know what they're waiting for. I don't know if he's waiting for a call or if they know, because I'm telling y'all, a lot of these guys know things in advance, and I'm going to share y'all. It's Friday night. I'm going to let everybody get back to their family. I'm going to share something with y'all that's going to really open up your eyes, and hopefully I can build more equity when I show you this. I'm going to show you something. I don't know, because sometimes these guys know what's going on. They keep it close to the vest. Think about the Liam Paro and Matias. I was saying, we kind of knew. So I have some inklings, but I can't claim that I know anything. I'm not in the know. I don't get the interviews. I'm not even watching people that's it's only certain people I'm watching that's doing interviews right now, because people are so petty with how you use the information. So I say, hey, you know what? I'm going to keep building this article, whether it's this, and when it comes down through certain pipelines, I know it's true, and I can use it. I have no answer for Gary Antoine. That's one of my guys. I call him the Butcher. And I said that him and Subriel Matias is must-see TV. I'm not sure. The Russells are talented, but they don't fight enough. Yeah. They don't. They leave us starving a little bit, you know, man. It's kind of a gift and a curse being that way, but they ran into some things, man. I don't want to go down the path for that, man. It's kind of ugly a little bit. And plus him and Tank, and, you know, it's just a bunch of stuff it get messy. It's get, you know, but yeah, people like him because people are always asking about Gary Antoine. People like the Russells. They love the Russells. They appreciate the pedigree. But we don't have enough information. It's not even enough. I was doing it on a regular basis, but then I feel like, hey, I don't want to step on no toes. I don't want to act like this and that because it's like it's a lot of gatekeepers and stuff out here, man. So I don't know, but I've been keeping track. The one guy, I think it's a guy from Maryland. It's a guy from Maryland that's actually doing the interviews with him, and I guess he got a good relationship. He get the information. I say go check out those videos. Hear it straight from Gary Antoine. I'm deciphering what I can decipher from it, but I'm not getting much. I see he's training. TBV said Gary Russell hasn't done anything. He should be in the mix. That's up until when he got inactive here lately, the last year and a half, maybe last year, like he did get it, but they lost their pops. So up until then, man, you look at his record, you look at what he's doing, he has no losses and he stopped everybody. So, and he has talent. Everybody, Devin never said his name when he came up, even though they got history. I want to see Pacheco and Berlanga. My heart with Berlanga, my money on Pacheco. Smart man. Smart man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I rock with you, Jose. Smart man. I want to see that too. I thought Eddie, I was like, man, Eddie, you got it. But I guess he might got to build it up. And I think Berlanga, for some reason, he was in that hat. His name was in that hat for that Canelo fight. I think Pacheco was all wrong for Berlanga. That's just me, though. It's called better than the Devin Ryan BS. Hey, you said it, not me. But you dropping them jewels right now. I've seen you. You seen me, Cookie Monster. Pitbull Cruz need to defend his title first. Way before thinking in a unification. Yeah. Ain't he called Matias out next? Why y'all talking about Hitchins? We still talking about call-outs? I think we passed call-outs, but we're gonna stop Canelo. I mean, if you want to bank everything on a call-out, sure. We just went over, don't insult my intelligence. Subriel don't want Piofimo say no Matias. He want to see the father throwing the towel better. That's funny. Hitchins has undefeated fighters on his belt too. I'm telling y'all, people are sleeping. But again, we got to keep putting the stakes in the ground. I don't just rock with people just to be rocking with nobody now. There's plenty of boxers that can put down the, you know what I'm saying? There's plenty of boxers that can, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't just be rocking with nobody, with anybody. You know, I ain't just going to be representing just for anybody. I don't understand all of the hype for Cruz beating Rolly. Any top guy beats Rolly. Cruz is nice and humble guy, but Matias get him out of there by 8 rounds. I don't even know if it's gonna be 8 rounds. The magic number is 4, y'all. And you talking about somebody that's gonna be right there, gonna be compact. You're gonna know it's pretty much coming from over. I mean, he do go to the body a little bit, but when he go to the body with those shorter arms, trying to get to that body, hook central, like them choppies. What Koki be saying, that fly swatter style? Where Koki at? Matias will stop Hitchins, in my opinion. He might. You know, he might. I think Hitchins, because his mentality is like he's not going to be around. So Hitchins going to make him move. So, he might. History says he probably will after round 3. I got to see people. I got to judge the first 3 rounds, but the 4th round is the magic number. I didn't know the Russells lose their dad. Yeah, man. He was a patriarch. He raised all them guys, man. Olympians, man. He raised them, man. The fleet of brothers. And I don't even know what's going on with Gary Antonio. Gary Antonio fought Emmanuel Rodriguez, who had the privilege of sharing the ring with Naoya anyway. Emmanuel Rodriguez, man, he surprised me with that fight with Gary Antonio. But it's Mr. Gary Russell, it's Mr. Gary Russell, Gary Antonio, and Gary Antoine being the young one. And they had another brother that would box, but he pretty much, kind of helped train and, support and stuff like that. But they a strong pedigree, man. That's why I say I don't go hard on them. I don't even need to. There's enough people that do that, man. I know we want to see them fight more, but I'm realistic in how I assess stuff. Yeah, man. This guy, man. Don't let this guy hijack the live, y'all. Hitchins is in the WBC ranking, so he can fight for that belt. Yeah, I think you're probably saying that, and to probably, I guess, try to say, you would rather a unification. I think we all would rather a unification for Subriel than a title defense. But if you want to see, must-see TV, because let's be honest, a unification with Isaac Pitbull Cruz, especially with all these new bandwagon fans and all the popularity. That would probably do way more for Subriel in his career by beating him now at this point, right at this time, barring Isaac Pitbull Cruz don't go out there and step in some you know what I'm saying? Go out there and step in some and lose that belt. That would do better. But stylistically, boxing, mano a mano, the better fighter is Richardson Hitchins. The best fight is Gary Antoine. Not Bill Diddy. Any love alert in the chat room. Yeah, we ain't going, man. You know what we do. You know what we do here. All right, Melazar. All right. See you tomorrow. But I do want to point out that Eddie Hearn got Raymond Ford. You got Diego Pacheco, Richardson Hitchins. You got Andy Cruz and Subriel Matias. Now that's a squad. I want to point that out and say that, hey, look, this is big implications for Richardson Hitchins and Subriel. If it's best laid plans, title defense, unification, title defense. Or do he? Because I think Richardson Hitchins was a name on that contract. That was one of the 5 names that was listed. I think Regis was on there too. Still got to hear from Regis. So I wanted to speak to that. And if you don't know about Diego Pacheco in this card, man, this card is a nice card. A very nice card. So check it out. I'm probably going to be I don't know if I'm going to call it. I don't know. I might do something around it. It just depends on how everything goes. But another stake in the ground. This is big implications, for things to come when it comes down to Subriel Matias. And because Richardson Hitchins is one of my guys, man. That's the Raymond. Check out my video on Richardson Hitchins. The Raymond. Subriel was saying that we're going to be surprised with the card they putting together. I look forward to hearing that. Too. But I'm gonna keep the shine. We got to get into Subriel because he's the champ and this is a title eliminator. So we had to speak on him. But I'm allow the law firm Richardson Hitchins and Pacheco. I don't know. I want to say Pacheco and Hitchins. I think Pacheco and Hitchins sound like a law firm. But I wanted to give them their salutes and say that, man, I hope this card goes right. And I hope they make statements. And I think we're going to be in for a treat tomorrow night. Not a long live tonight. I'm going to try to shorten up my lives a little bit and be more concise, especially since there's a lot more fights. But this is going to set off April. This is setting off April right here. But if I look at it, let's see. Salute to everybody who came in the building. Jose Rodriguez, Melazar, Arnaldo Nieves, Ghost, Heriberto Alvarado, Bug gonna stop Canelo, Ed Cruz was in the building. Salute, Ed. If I missed then, salute to you. Angelina, Cookie Monster. Luis Vasquez stopped by. Bronx OG, Alex Rivera, Richard Espada. Hector Tapia was in the building. Bloodshot came through. JDL Boxing showed up. Frontline was in the building. Salute to everybody who was in the building. Alexis Morales. Salute, salute. I don't think the dude Liam Paro sparring the one. We'll see. Puerto Rico in the house. Yeah, Puerto Rico. Y'all know how I got love for all my Puerto Ricans, you know what I'm saying? You know I cringe every time I say you know what I'm saying, because somebody got on me about that. It's a filler, I suppose, that I'm working on. But yeah, that's what I have for y'all. I'm not gonna keep y'all long. I know it's Friday night. It's gonna be a big day of boxing tomorrow night, and you know, same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks for showing up, man, and showing out for your boy. But thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.